Today, we're going to be restarting Josh Allen's career, but there's going to be a twist. Every player will be put back into prime form except for Josh Allen, who's going to be starting at a 70 overall. So with those setbacks, Josh Allen's going to have to win a Super Bowl under these circumstances, but he's only going to have 10 seasons to do it. So as we look into season 1 for Josh Allen, his team so far isn't really that bad, as he has James Cook on the offense, who's right now a top 10 running back in the league. And while he does have a young wide receiver core, it's definitely going to take some time for them to get things going, so season 1 would not be the greatest. Josh Allen would only help lead his team to a 6-11 record, which is as expected for the circumstances he's in right now. But he would also throw for 3,500 yards and 22 touchdowns, which isn't going to cut it right now, but luckily there's time for him to develop. So during the offseason, he was going to need to do some training. That way season 2 can be a big step up for him. And luckily for him, year 2 would be a big step up for the team, because Josh Allen would be helping his team go to a 10-7 record, which would be way better than last year and would even help them make the playoffs. Along with that, Josh Allen would be throwing for 3,800 yards and 30 touchdowns, which is an improvement over last year, but to get them to a 10-7 record, it would be his teammates that would be doing a lot of work. The two main players to help him out though would be James Cook, who would be leading the whole entire league in rushing. And on the defensive side, it would be Greg Rochelle getting 18 sacks for himself on the year and helping the defense have its best year yet. But as we get into the playoffs, the Bills are going to be facing the Broncos in the wildcard round, which is going to be a big test for them. Because with the Broncos having the better team and Josh Allen not being at his best yet, it looked like the Broncos would have an easy cakewalk through this one. But Josh Allen and company would be shocking the whole entire league by taking down the Broncos 36-17 in a very one-sided game. And so while they did upset the Broncos in the wildcard round, the divisional round was not going to be any easier for them, as they would be having to face a powerhouse in Pittsburgh, being the Steelers. And this easily could be the best team in the NFL. While they have MVP Aaron Rodgers, prime Jalen Ramsey, and Darius Slay, this is looking like one of the elite teams right now. So while the Bills would be looking for the upset in this game, the Steelers would be closing that door shut right away, as they would be beating the Bills 23-5, ending the Bills' playoff run. And even though this playoff run didn't end in the best way possible, at least they won one playoff game, but they're for sure not ready to win against a powerhouse team yet. But one thing's for certain is that Josh Allen needs to continue getting better every season, or else this team is not going to win a Super Bowl within the next 7 seasons. So as we jump into season 3, there is some good news for Josh Allen, as he'll be at an 86 overall now, taking a big leap into year 3. And it would be very clear that that would be helping the team, as Josh Allen would throw for 4,300 yards and 39 touchdowns, taking a big step up from last year. Along with that, he may have just found his wide receiver 1 in Khalil Shakir, as he would have a breakout season, getting 1,400 yards and 16 TDs. But even with all that improvement, the Bills would still go 10-7, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, as that gets them into the playoffs, but not seeing any improvement from last year on the record is not great. So to kick things off in the playoffs, the Bills are going to have to play the Bengals in the wildcard round, which is going to be a very tough matchup, as they have Joe Burrow at quarterback and T. Higgins and Jamar Chase, making one of the best offenses in the league. And in a game like this, you would have expected a little bit of a higher scoring game from each team, but it wouldn't be really all that crazy, as the Bengals would be leading 20-13 going into the fourth quarter. But as we got late into the fourth quarter, thanks to a good Bills offensive drive, they would only be down 23-20 with 2:49 left in the fourth. And luckily for the Bengals, they'd be finding a way to make this game go into overtime, meaning Josh Allen now has to win the game for his team. But we'll just have to see what happens. Josh Allen scrambling is going to get the first down a little bit more, gets tackled, but at like around the 50. Josh Allen gets a snap, hands it off to James Cook, and it's going to get nothing there. Is going to step back, might try to scramble, but is going to get sacked by Trey Hendrickson. Wow. Definitely not the greatest play in the world from Josh there, but it's okay. 3rd and 17. If they can't get something here, they're going to have to punt the ball and are going to have to give the ball up to Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow. And yeah, Kincaid is going to get stopped very short of the first down. Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase are now going to have a shot to end the Bills' playoffs here. Lucky for Josh Allen, the Bills' defense is actually pretty good for him, but we'll just have to see how good it is going against a team like this. Joe Burrow tosses it out to Chase Brown. Chase Brown going to pretty much get nothing there. 3rd and 5. Burrow dropping back. Bills are going to bring a lot of pressure there, but he completes it out to T. Higgins. Gets it past the 50. T. Higgins is going to keep going. He breaks the tackle and gets to the 30-yard line. Wow, that is crazy. Very poor effort there by the Bills defense. Some of the worst tackling I've seen so far. And Jamar Chase now gets it, and they are easily in field goal range, so this game looks pretty much over unless the Bills defense can stop. Burrow dropping back, finds Gesicki towards the end, and he is going to get into the end zone. that is going to end the Bills season right there. Wow, what a game. And so in a rough turn of events, Josh Allen and company are going to be losing in the playoffs in a very tough overtime game. And it sure won't be the last overtime thriller he has to play in.
Nah, that is insane. What the heck?
But before Josh Allen has to experience that, he's going to be going into year 4 with quite a bit of playoff experience now. And not only that, year 4 would be one of his best seasons yet, throwing for 4,000 yards and 41 TDs, which is definitely good, but he's still working his way up back to the top. But even with that season, the Bills would still be going 10-7, which would still get them into the playoffs, but being 10-7 yet again isn't something this team is ideally looking for. And so with Josh Allen trying to make another impactful playoff run for the team, he gets to try to make his case for why he might be one of the top QBs in the league, as he'll be playing the Broncos in the wildcard round. And luckily for Josh Allen, he just played the Broncos in season 2, so he knows how this team is. And the revenge he would be looking for against this team would sure be rewarded to him, as he would be beating them 30-17 in a very big wildcard win for them. But when it came to the divisional round, he's going to be having to face the Steelers yet again, who is a powerhouse team he hasn't quite beat yet. If they can get a win against a team like this, they might be able to go all the way this year. And with the Bills being somewhat of a stronger team this time around, this isn't going to be a cakewalk for the Steelers either. And with both these teams being so good, the score wouldn't really be all that crazy, as going into the fourth quarter it'd be 15-15. And in a game like this, all it takes is one break for the defense for their team to fall apart. But none of these teams' defenses would really be breaking apart, so the score would be 15-15 ending the fourth quarter, so overtime is going to have to decide the winner of this game. If only the Bills had O.J. Simpson in this, but apparently people think that he did it, so he's not going to be the running back here. And wow, Josh Allen threw a little bit of dangerous pass there, but it does get caught down at the 42 right there for Joshua Palmer. Big play. A very good drive so far by the Bills here. Hopefully they can continue it. James Cook handoff. And again, the running game is just going nowhere. Like, I don't know what these guys are doing. Obviously now, hopefully you get the ball to Josh Allen. I don't know. They might hand it off here. Of course, he is going to drop back. He's going to try and scramble. Oh, he finds Joshua Palmer again. Gets it past the 40. That is at the 35 now. Big play again. 3rd and 11 now for the Bills. Very big play here. You would probably think they go back to Joshua Palmer for how he's been. And they get Shakir right down at the 10. Big play there. Let's see if they can finish off the drive with the touchdown. Would be very huge for them. And wow, a handoff to James Cook, and that is going to give them 6. Steelers get the ball now. Let's see if they can do anything. We'll have to see what happens here. Rodgers stepping back is going to get pressured right away and is going to get sacked by Ed Oliver, who has 3 sacks this game. What a game he's having. 2nd and 20 now here. Defense could easily be saving Josh Allen right here, but he did get them the touchdown. And Jaylen Warren only going to get around 10 yards there, but now it is 3rd and 10. Rodgers dropping back. Ed Oliver's going to get to him again. Oh my God. This guy's having like the game of his career right now with 4 sacks. This is insane. Still 4th and 19. He's probably going to somehow manage to convert this, but we will see. Taking a shot for it all here. That's DK.
Nah, that is insane. What the heck?
Wow. All right. I don't even know what to say to that. That is nuts. Oh my God. The pocket was literally collapsing on him, and he just threw an absolute like dot to DK. Oh my God. Josh Allen, read option to James Cook, and ooh, that wasn't great. Not gonna lie, if that one guy got blocked, that probably would have been a bigger game. But Josh Allen out to Palmer again. Oh my God. And it's gonna get past the 50. 10 catches for 119 yards for Palmer today. Oh my God. Quite the legacy game for him here. 3rd and 1 now for Josh Allen. He's gonna scramble away, gets the 1st down. Keon Coleman with a great block there. Josh Allen trying to pull off some spin moves. He thinks he's Lamar Jackson in a Lamar edit.
Baby, hey!
Josh Allen hands it off to James Cook here. And again, just like no yards. Oh my God, this run game is like very hit or miss. Prater, kick of his life right here. It's only, I can't do math right now in my head. I'm stupid. Prater, kick is up. That looks like it's gonna be in because it's Prater, and he makes it. Wow, what a game that was. And in one of the most interesting playoff games yet, the Bills will be walking out with the win in overtime. And now that they've earned a spot in the AFC Championship game, their next opponent's going to be a very tough one, as they're going to be having to face the Ravens in what's going to be a really interesting game. And when you're facing a team that has Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry, you know a game like this is going to be very high scoring. And with the Bills having to face a totally different powerhouse in the championship game, they would be down 28-14 against the Ravens with 150 left in the fourth. So if Josh Allen wants to win this game, he's got to do it himself. Dropping back, Josh Allen 1st and 10, standing in his own end zone just like a chill guy. What is he doing? I'm not sure if he knows the rules of football, but he almost just like pretty much lost him the game there. The pocket was closing in on him. Dropping back now, 2nd and 10. Woo, he's got some moves. He's gonna scramble. Wow, okay. So Josh Allen thinks he's a running back and he just lost them the game. I don't even know what that was. He just spun into Roquan Smith. Well, it's supposed to be like game of the year. Josh Allen just totally fumbled it. Awesome. Great job. So with that, Josh Allen is officially ending his playoff run in the AFC Championship game, making some good progress overall for himself, but he's definitely going to need to do some more. And so as we jump into season 5, it's pretty important to note that now Josh Allen is a 90 overall, which is a really good sign for his development. But with it also being the 5th season, he only has 5 more years now to win a Super Bowl, which is definitely cutting it close. And the worst part is he hasn't even made a Super Bowl yet, so hopefully he can try to do that this season. And they'd be taking some very big steps in the right direction this year, with Josh Allen throwing for 4,600 yards and 44 touchdowns, having his best year yet. And to build off that, the Bills would no longer be going 10-7, as this season they would be going 14-3, taking 1st overall in the AFC playoff bracket. So as the Bills start looking into the divisional round, they're going to have to end up facing a division rival, being the Patriots. And they're pretty good right now. They have Drake May, who's developing into a great quarterback, and to help him out with that would be prime Stephon Diggs, which is definitely going to be a problem. But for the most part, it seemed like the Bills were taking care of business in this game, as going into the 4th quarter, they would be up 27-17, looking like they could easily wrap this one up. But it seemed like the Bills defense couldn't do their job properly, as they would end up giving up 10 more points to the Patriots, who end up tying the game with 3 minutes left. So if Josh Allen wants to lead his team back to the AFC Championship game, he's going to have to do it himself. All right, here we go. 2:29 left for Josh Allen here. It is 3rd and 17. He's going to have to make a big play to not give the ball to Drake May in this situation. Pocket kind of collapsing on him, and he's gonna get sacked. Wow. All right, here we go. Drake May and company with 2:18 left. The Bills defense has to get a stop here somehow. This 1st and 10, Drake May throws it out to Stevenson, who's gonna get tackled by Milano down at around the 50. 2-minute warning just happened. 2nd and 7 now for Drake May and company. He's going to drop back, throw it out to, and I don't even know who that is, but it is going to be incomplete. Obviously, Patriots receivers are pretty much irrelevant other than Stephon Diggs. But Drake May going to throw it across the field, throws an interception. What a play by the Bills here. And they are going to get it to the 35. Wow, Drake May with a huge mistake there. I don't know why he threw that. 2nd and 8 here for the Bills. Josh Allen trying to find a way to win this game for his team. All he needs is a field goal to get a lead here, and Khalil Shakir is going to get him across midfield. Huge play. All right, 1st and 10 now. Josh Allen with 1:30 left. They do have all 3 timeouts. They're not in the biggest rush in the world, but Keon Coleman's going to grab another 1st down for them. What a play. Whole team is starting to get the ball moving. Maybe they start to run out the clock here so they can get this field goal and win the game. But he is going to go play action and throw it to the end zone. I don't know why he tried throwing like that much of a covered pass, but all right. All right, here we go. 15 seconds now for Matt Prater. He's going to have to kick a field goal here to win it. If they does make it, then we go to the AFC Championship yet again. And he does make it. Wow, what a game. And just like that, Josh Allen would be helping his team move on to the next round. So as we look into the AFC Championship game, the Bills are going to have to end up facing CJ Stroud and the Texans, which is going to be a pretty tough matchup. Because a team with CJ Stroud and Nico Collins is pretty good on the offense, but the defense is definitely going to be a problem for Josh Allen. But it was very clear that the Bills team was just better than the Texans, as they would end up beating them 24-10 to move into the 1st Super Bowl in the Josh Allen era. This is a very big opportunity for Josh Allen to win a Super Bowl in these circumstances, which could be a very big deal. But in order to win the Super Bowl, they're going to have to face a powerhouse in the NFC, being the Lions, who have a very good squad right now. They're obviously very well known for their offense, which has Amon-Ra St. Brown and Jahmyr Gibbs, which is just an elite duo to have, but that defense is also going to be a problem too with Aiden Hutchinson. So with both of these teams having very good offenses, this game was definitely going to be pretty good, and going into the 4th quarter, the Bills would be down 24-17 against them, which is not a good sign. All right, here we go. 2:34 left. The Bills need to get a stop here. They are down 7 points. It looks like the Lions, wow, they're going to be in field goal range. That's crazy. What a game. Obviously, with the Bills and their offense, I thought this would be more of a high-scoring game from both teams, but it is still pretty decent, especially for being the Super Bowl. And Montgomery straight up just runs over someone and gets stopped at around the 20. Let's see, Goff dropping back, throws it out to Gibbs, and he's gonna stay in bounds and grab a first down. Yep, that's game. So with that, Josh Allen's gonna be falling short of winning the Super Bowl in this one, which is definitely a tough blow for him. If it wasn't made clear that game, this time around, Josh Allen's gonna have to do a lot more to win the Super Bowl. So as we jump into season 6 for Josh Allen, it's important to note that he only now has 4 seasons to win a Super Bowl, so the clock is gonna be ticking a lot more. And this season wouldn't be all that special so far, as the Bills would be going 9-8, which is disappointing and below the standard they've been setting recently. Along with that, Josh Allen would be throwing for 4,000 yards and 32 touchdowns, which is not too bad for him, but definitely a little bit lower than last year. Luckily, they would still be making the playoffs, as they would be facing the Jacksonville Jaguars in the wildcard round, who have an interesting team that now has Travis Hunter, who's had some time to develop over the years. And this game wouldn't be all that high scoring either, as the Jags would be up 17-13 late in the fourth quarter over the Bills. So if Josh Allen wants to move on, he's going to have to show up on offense. And lucky for him, he would have an opportunity to on the final drive of the game for him. And this right here would be the result of him taking over that opportunity. Or they're just going to go for a play. Okay. Sure. 3 seconds. Josh Allen gets sacked. Oh my God, that was a disaster. All right, that is, wow. And after some of the worst clock management I've ever seen, the Bills are going to be ending their playoff run on one of the worst notes possible. And it's now clear that if Josh Allen wants to win a Super Bowl, a game like that can never happen again in the playoffs. So as we jump into season 7 for Josh Allen, this team has a lot they can improve on, and they're going to need to do that to make sure they have a serious run in the playoffs again. And this team would for sure capitalize on that moment, as the Bills would be having one of their best seasons yet, going 13-4 and getting a first round bye in the playoffs to add on to it. And to pair with that great season, Josh Allen would be throwing for 4,400 yards and 43 touchdowns, which is a very big improvement from last year. And when you have a season like that, it's pretty clear that you're going to be one of the top teams in the playoffs and could easily be winning the Super Bowl this year. So as we jump into the playoffs, the Bills would be playing the Texans in the divisional round, who they would be taking care of business of, beating them at home 26-21 in a close game. So as Josh Allen finds himself yet again in the AFC Championship game, he would also be facing the Ravens yet again, which could be a pretty tough matchup. So as both these teams are trying to find a way back to the Super Bowl, both of their offenses would be performing pretty well in this game, but the Ravens would be up 27-24 going late into the fourth quarter. But thankfully for the Bills, having Josh Allen, who knows how to pull off game-winning drives, could help them a lot in this game right now. All right, Bills with 2:25 left now. They do have all 3 timeouts right now, and they obviously still have the 2-minute warning. Time is not really the biggest issue for them right now, and they're just going to go for the deep ball, but he misses Joshua Palmer there. Would have been huge if that connected. Probably would have ended up setting them up to score a touchdown there. And Keon Coleman now, 2:15 left, gets it down to the 30 there, 3rd and 3. So Bills are going to end up getting a field goal here with 1:57 left. I mean, this should be an easy chip shot here for Prater. Nothing he hasn't done before, and it's in. Here come the Ravens now. 1:48 left. Lamar Jackson with all 3 timeouts too, and he's already going to get the ball pretty much close to midfield, and that's not good. Obviously, with the type of quarterback Lamar Jackson is, it's going to be hard to stop him doing anything pretty much, and he's going to get a few yards there to Mark Andrews. If the Bills are going to have to start getting to use their timeouts, it may start looking pretty rough here. Lamar's going to get it out to Mark Andrews, who's going to get another first down, and he will stay in bounds, and the Ravens call a timeout. A very big play here coming up, 3rd and 5. Bills obviously still have 2 timeouts. If they get the stop here, they use it right away and still have enough time left to get something going. And a big forced incompletion there. Even better, they don't got to use a timeout, and they have 45 seconds left and 2 timeouts. They should be perfectly fine. Ravens kick is up, and that looks like it's going to go through 30-27. All right, Josh Allen out here for probably the biggest drive so far here for him. And Josh Allen does a QB draw and gets like no yards on that pretty much. Amazing play call. 3rd and 6 now. Josh Allen has to get something done quick here. Finds Joshua Palmer and gets it first down, but has to call timeout. Only 19 seconds left here. He's going to need a miracle to somehow even get into field goal range at this point. But they are getting close, and it only takes 1 big play, and Kincaid gets them across the 50. The seconds are now just counting down. He's going to have to spike it here. Let's see how much time he'll have left, and he's going to have 8 seconds. We'll see what he can do with that. Obviously, at this point, you're going to have to try to get like an out route here and get to out of bounds somehow. And I think they might just go for it all here. Will he get it? No, and that is going to do it. Wow. And And yet again, Josh Allen would be losing to the Ravens in the AFC Championship game in another disappointing fashion. And with Josh Allen being close to his 10 seasons, winning a Super Bowl right now seems out of reach. So as we jump into season 8, it's very clear that he needs to continue having these good seasons if he even wants a chance to win a Super Bowl. And already the Bills would be taking a step back, going 9-8 on the year, which is not a good look at all compared to last year. And to add on to that mess, Josh Allen would be having a big fall off year, only having 3,600 yards passing and 29 touchdowns on the year. But even though they went 9-8, they would still be making the playoffs, who they would be facing the Jets in the wild card round, who they would be easily beating them. And when it came to the divisional round, the Bills would have to go play the Chargers, who have a pretty good team going for them. And lucky for the Bills, they'd be taking down the Chargers 27-24 to find their way back to the AFC Championship game. And now that he's back here, if Josh Allen can actually pull off a win here, there's a really good chance he could win the Super Bowl with this type of run. And this time, they wouldn't have to go play the Ravens in the AFC Championship game. It would this time be the Jaguars, who they've played before in the playoffs. And with them facing a team like the Jaguars, this could very well be the end of the road for Josh Allen in this playoff run. But lucky for the Bills, Josh Allen would be taking care of business yet again in the championship game, taking down the Jaguars 24-10 in a big upset to move on to the Super Bowl. And in the Super Bowl, the Bills would have to end up facing the Eagles, who have a very big powerhouse team right now, with Saquon Barkley, AJ Brown, and Jalen Hurts leading the way. And it's very clear now that the Bills are playing way better than what their 9-8 record says, so going into a game like this, Josh Allen might actually have a serious chance to pull off one of the best playoff runs he's had yet. And in this game, the Bills and the Eagles would be playing pretty evenly on offense, as the Bills would be up 23-14 in the fourth quarter. And with the game coming down to the line, the Bills defense was going to need one more stop to seal the win for Josh Allen. All right, coming out of the 2-minute warning here, the Eagles still have 3 timeouts and they're down 9 points. I can't do math in my head for whatever reason. And Devontae Smith gets them a few yards there, and it's going to be 2nd and 4. Josh Allen's been clearly helping his team keep the lead here, and the defense has been shutting down Hurts and Saquon pretty good today. Hurts is going to drop back, finds Devontae Smith on the out route, is going to convert the first down. They also got to score quick here, but their defense also has to show up too if they want to even have a chance to win this. But Josh Allen and company have been doing pretty good here. And now the defense is showing up. 2nd and 6 now. Hurts dropping back, finds AJ Brown, something he can't do in real life, and gets the first down. Hurts dropping back, 1st and 10 now. Going for the end zone, gets Devontae Smith, and that was some pretty poor tackling there. Eagles score. We'll see if that changes anything. Hopefully it doesn't. Here we go with the onside here. The Eagles got to try to get this somehow, and the Bills recover it. That might be the game. That might be it. Josh Allen might have finally just done it. And finally, after having multiple disappointing playoff runs, in a season where it unexpectedly felt like he wouldn't win, he actually wins his Super Bowl within the 10 seasons. And to be able to win it after having a rough regular season is quite the accomplishment. But with it taking 8 seasons for Josh Allen, it begs the question about if another great quarterback was put into a position like him. Maybe someone like the great Patrick Mahomes. So what if we took everyone back in their prime except for Patrick Mahomes? Could he win a Super Bowl quicker than when Josh Allen did? Click on the video on the screen to find out.